Thank you so much for being here. It is my pleasure to introduce Pete Eyre to you guys today. Pete and I kind of go way back by this stage, which is one of those great things that happens within our community. You know, people come, they have ideas about stuff. You know, people will sometimes say the Free State Project is centralized, but I really do believe it is, for the most part, decentralized. There's nothing more pleasurable for me to see when people bring their brain power and their enthusiasm and their abilities to something and start things that actually change the world. And I truly do believe that CopBlock and the way they've set this up is one of those things. I can speak from personal experience. I got arrested for wiretapping several years ago, and I'm currently suing the Weir Police Department. And the night it happened, in the back of my head the whole time I was like, what would Pete be doing right now? and probably would have done a better job than I did, but you know, I was young and innocent at the time. So I originally met Pete, I think, online, even before we met in person, when he was still at the think tank in Washington. And then he was involved with Bureau Crash for several years, I would say, and I blogged there a few times, sort of in between all the other things I'm doing. And I just personally have a deep-seated respect for you, because I think I've watched your approach evolve. I love, he called me out at PorcFest last year because I did a little, you know, cops are thugs and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, you know, you really shouldn't collectivize. And it really stuck with me, because he was like, the way to think about, you know, the police force and stuff is in the same way that we think about everything else, i.e. individualism, and thinking about that person as a person and thinking about how can I reach this person and maybe change their mind. And I think CopBlock is doing that, and I certainly think Pete is doing that, and it's my great pleasure to introduce him.
Well, thanks, Carla. Mutual respect, for sure, and appreciate all y'all being here, your time. I know there's a lot of competing events right now, and you know, not just that, but a lot of competing things going on in your life and elsewhere in the world. So thanks for coming to Liberty Forum and connecting with a lot of other good people. I hope you leave not just this, but this weekend with some more thought-provoking ideas that you can incorporate into your life, and we can help advance this voluntary society. But real quick, what I plan to do today, I'm not really some polished speaker per se. I just like to share ideas, and so this is going to be first part sort of practical tactics on how to safeguard your rights, and then get more into the ideas and how I think, you know, if you're here, then I think I would hope that you think police accountability is a good thing. So how to make that happen, how to maximize that, and how to eventually get away from even the need to have a site like CopBlock.org exist. So real briefly, I'll just touch on CopBlock.org. It was founded a few years ago. A good friend of mine, who many of y'all know, Adamo Freeman, he was having some issues with some of the folks in his small town in southeast Wisconsin who were harassing him, one individual in particular, and he wasn't finding any recourse through the official channels. So he recognized, as I think many of us do today, that transparency is a good thing. It ousts the bullies. So he started blogging about that online, and soon after myself and a number of other folks started collaborating with him there. And CopBlock has since grown to be a decentralized project united by a diverse group of individuals who advocate for police accountability and individual rights and dissemination of tactics, effective tactics to use while filming police. Thus far, CopBlock now, it's grown quite a bit. It has over 100,000 unique views a month on the .org, and we have, you know, millions of views on the YouTube and stuff, and there's dozens and dozens of offshoots being founded, and that to me is a good sign. So I know if we're here and we care about liberty, it's easy to step back sometimes and you know, point to things that might get us frustrated, or things that we think might strip us of our rights. But if in the scheme of things, I do think things are moving in the right direction. So I just want to encourage y'all to, I guess, not be pessimistic, but be optimistic. So real briefly, some practical tactics on how to safeguard your rights. I think many of us here, some of this might be not new information, but hopefully you will learn a few things that you can incorporate Since I am going to cover some ground quickly, if you do want to reference some of this information, we have a page at CopBlock Know Your Rights, so copblock.org/knowyourrights. A lot of this information I'm going to cover in the next couple minutes can be found on that document. It's not too lengthy, but I think it's pretty informative. And if you have any suggestions on how it can be improved or other info that we can incorporate, please do let us know. You know, we can all learn from each other, and that's